Hello, I'm Mike Heidemann, men's basketball coach at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. Today we're going to introduce a system of defense which we call the pack. The pack evolved over the past 14 years out of the necessity to stop great penetration. How do you stop penetration when you don't have quick players on the perimeter? We have found that this system of play allows us a good opportunity to stop that penetration. The pack defense has been good to us over the last 14 years. We have been ranked in the top 10 of the nation in fewest points allowed. What we have found is the pack defense, if you have players that are unselfish and will commit to covering for each other, will stop penetration. Offensive penetration, the ability to bring the ball to the basket, the ability to make plays off the dribble, we feel is the #1 threat to any great defense. If you play the pack, it'll allow you to go out and pressure the ball beyond 19-9. It'll allow you to keep the ball outside the low post and outside the penetration into the lane itself. It will also allow you to keep the ball from being shot from the three-point range. These things we will go through by demonstration, by drills, and game footage. The pack defense is built on two objectives. Those are stop the ball, get the ball. It is also built on 7 defensive principles that we plan our drills around. Those principles are set our defense. That's outnumbering the offense at the defensive end of the floor. Sprint back. Number 2, hard ball pressure. We talk about guarding a yard, containment. Number 3, constant repositioning. We talk to our players about alertness, anticipation, and vision. Number 4, stop all penetration. That is by the pass and the dribble. No touches in the lane. Number 5, contest every shot. No one gets a free look at the basket. Number 6, defeat the screens. Beat single screens with alertness. Be hard to screen. Keep on moving through screens. And number 7, finish the play. Go get that defensive rebound. What I'd like to start the film with is introducing the whole picture of the pack defense. I'm going to go through several positions that are played in the pack and try and explain how it fits together. We're going to start with the ball being on top, guarded by our point guard. So right now, if the point guard is guarding the ball, what we're interested in is his basic stance. He's got to be low and wide, and he must pick the ball up and apply pressure outside 19-9. If, in this case, the ball is in the middle of the floor, we want a square stance. What we're very concerned about is that Paul, on his initial move to the offensive man, takes away vision and takes away the three-point shot. We do that by having our hands up high and extended. So I can't look inside and I cannot lift the ball to shoot it without Paul getting a piece of it. That's very important to us. The second thing that we are concerned about, once Paul comes out and stops the ball, is that he establishes a cushion. Paul, get back. So that I cannot drive on him. We said we're very concerned with penetration. To stop penetration, we must have a cushion. We cannot allow Paul to be up on top because now I can go right by him. As we build this defense, you can see we added 2 more players, and they're in what we call the gaps. We are always going to lend help to the ball on the inside gaps. We have Ryan here in a position of semi-open where he can see the ball in his man. B.J. LaRue is in the other gap. So if I start to penetrate, they will help stop the ball. That's very important to us. Anytime the ball is on the wing, Ryan, you want to go to that gap? We want to establish a position with our outside foot above the offensive man. We talk to our players about no middle, no middle. If the ball is going to the baseline, we can get you help, but we do not want the ball dribbled to the middle. That's very, very important to us as we build the defense. In this case, B.J. LaRue would be in that inside gap. At this time, what I'm showing you is the look of an offensive guard into the pack. As you see, we have the lane covered. We have 8 hands that are going to try and get any deflection of a ball going into the lane. Get your hands up, please, gentlemen. This is the look that we want to show as the ball's brought down on offense. I can't penetrate this gap is taken care of. So we are building our defense from the basket out, making sure the ball does not get into the lane by the dribble or by the pass. Now, the feature about the pack that I think allows us to play against good defense is the following. On the wing where Ryan is, he's in the help position from the get-go. As I penetrate this gap, pick up the ball with my 2 hands, Ryan is leaving. He only has one direction to go, and that is out to his man. We believe that that allows us to be quicker. He does not have the motion of sinking back to help and then recovering to his man. Our man is already in that sink position, and because of that, he can fly out to the ball much quicker. In most traditional defenses, Ryan Borowitz would be guarding the man up on the line. Get up, Ryan, that's it. And when the ball is penetrated, he has to turn, come back and help, and now recover on the pass. What we're saying in the pack, as soon as Ryan's man passes the ball, Ryan, guard him. Oop, I'm sorry. As soon as Ryan's man passes the ball, he jumps to that position. Now he'll hold that position, bluff at me, but he will not attack. He wants to just make sure I pick it up, and then he's going to fly out and establish a great defensive position. This is one of the key teaching points about the pack defense. We tell our kids there is only one person outside 19-9, and that is the man guarding the ball. He is the only one. The rest of our players are in the pack. If I had a line on the floor, we would put a line down that is about 3 feet inside the 19-9, and every member of our defensive team must have 1 foot in the pack line. The only person being outside is the person guarding the ball. That's why it's called the pack. We all get into the pack, and then we explode out when our man catches the ball. So I think you can see that right now by this team. They're all in the pack. As I pack it, throw the ball over, BJ will go outside, Paul will get into the pack. We are going to make it hard for you to get to the basket, either with dribble penetration or with the pass to the low post. To give you continuation about the pack defense in its entirety, we're going to deal with the low post. We said we're not going to allow the ball inside. To do that, we front the post. And what we start with, Jerry Karstensen is going to be on the high side. He's going to be in a closed position, denying that lead pass into the low post. If the ball is thrown to the wing, we completely front, dead front. It's not debatable with us. We just tell our players, you have to dead front. If the ball is thrown back, we expect Jerry to move up and reestablish himself on the high side. If the post, which is Greg right there, offensive post, steps outside low post, Jerry will move and reestablish himself in a relationship of ball, defensive player, offensive player. We are only going to front when the offensive man is in the low post. When we have cutters, The important thing to recognize, if Ryan cuts through on the pack all the way through, Ryan, is B.J. LaRue will play him and deny any pass inside 19-9 until Ryan goes outside, and then he'll stop at the pack line. We do not chase cutters outside 19-9. We will allow the ball to go on the perimeter anywhere it wants to. We will not allow the ball to be penetrated or an interior pass at all. The last concept that you need to understand in implementing the pack is the idea of sinking on ball penetration. If the ball is thrown to a wing and it is penetrated to the baseline, just bring it to the baseline, you will see our players sink to the level of the ball. This is very important to us, the concept of sinking to the level of the ball. We want to have hands around the lane. We want it difficult for the ball to go inside. So we will have bodies down here. I would bring Paul just a little bit up higher. Come on, Paul, just a little more. Right in here so we can close out if the ball is thrown back to the point. But Ryan Borowitz is in great position. Michael's in great position. This is what we call sinking to the ball. One of the features I like about the pack is it allows us on the weak side to only have to play with 1 foot inside the lane. If you look at Ryan and Michael, they don't have to be on the ball side of the basket to play this defense. Because we are going to put so much pressure on the ball, and B.J. LaRue is going to work on containment where this man can't go by him. This allows Ryan and Michael to play closer to their man on that weak side. What this helps us with, when the ball is skipped from Ryan to Jeremy, Ryan Borowitz can close much quicker because he doesn't have to cover as much distance. Also, when we have only 1 foot in the paint, we're not as easily screened on the weak side, and we find this very beneficial to our defense. I have just presented the whole picture of how the pack is organized and the things we're going to do. Now we're going to go through the 7 principles and with drills and demonstrations show you how we teach the parts of this defense. What we're going to focus on right now is trying to build good hard ball pressure from the pack defense. And the way we start this is in a stationary drill with 1 offensive person and 1 defensive person. We believe it's very important that we're active with our hands and that we're high with our hands. We believe that you can be a much quicker basketball player if you use your hands like a boxer would inside his body frame right in here, where I can be active with them rather than start with them low and wide. I think that slows you down. So we're going to use a defensive player right here who will hand the ball to the offensive player, and then what we want is active hands high, blocking his vision and taking away the 3-point shot. So right now we're going to ask Ben Johnson to be active with his hands, to get low and wide, and just put pressure on Chris. No, just be active. Thank you. As you could see, Ben did a nice job of keeping the palms up, keeping his hands high and actively pursuing the ball or mirroring the ball. One of the things that we have to worry about if we're going to apply pressure on the perimeter is penetration. That's the one thing we fear the most. So now we're going to ask Ben to do two things. As he's here in his stance and Chris moves closer by jabbing, Ben has to pop back and keep his cushion. We have to learn that pop back maneuver because that's important to us to keep the cushion that we want to deny Chris quick penetration. The other thing that we must work on is when Chris drops the ball below his waist, we will drop our hands. When the ball's above the waist, then we're in this fighter position in here, mirroring the ball and trying to be quick with our hands. So let's watch Ben Johnson now as he pops up and pops back, keeping pressure on the basketball. All right, let's stop there. Now to make it more game-like and to build on this sequence, we will allow Chris to take two dribbles. So Chris can go either way. Ben, we want now to be in a position to be 2 steps quick. If Chris goes to my left, quick, and be in position to play defense and deny him that quick drive to the basket. So let's watch Ben now and see if he can be 2 steps quick in established position. All right, let's come back, Chris. Keep your cushion, Ben. Get off him a little bit. There. That's it. When the ball is in the center of the floor, we use what I would call a square up or head up position. I want my players to be between the man with the basketball and the rim. And we want to try and be as athletic as we can, put as much pressure on the ball as we can, but again, keeping that cushion. I don't want to have my players belly to belly because we don't have that kind of great athleticism. When the ball is on the side or on the wing, Chris, would you come over here? What we want to do now is play on the high side. I want 1 foot above Chris. I don't want the ball driven to the middle. When it gets to the middle, that causes our defense all kinds of problems. Yet in the same token, I do not want the ball pushed or steered. I don't want to play it so much over that I give Chris the green light to drive to the baseline. So we have to tell our players, we instruct them that you must be on the outside high, but you must protect the middle at all costs, and yet we're trying to direct that man to the baseline and not allow him to turn the corner. This puts tremendous pressure on our players, but if you work on it enough, they become good and they understand how much cushion they have to take their man and control him. So let's watch Ben Johnson now on the wing when he establishes great position with his inside foot high. Very nice job, Ben. Let's start again. Let's start it once again. Establish that position. Very good. What we want Ben to do is to try to arc the man. Don't let Chris get a straight line drive to the basket. We're trying to teach him to make Chris go in an arc, in a bend, much as if Chris was on the 19-9 line right here with the ball. We're trying to teach Ben how to make that man arc. To us, the cardinal sin of pressure defense right now is getting beat right here in a direct line to the basket. This puts too much pressure on our remaining 4 players. So what we're trying to do is buy time. If we can buy time, we can be a good defensive team. So we're trying to have Ben arc the ball. So we're going to just move it out here and have Ben work real hard at keeping his cushion in this one-on-one drill. So let's have Ryan and Michael, you guys come out here too, and you get a basketball. We'll run our whole team through this drill real quickly. I don't want Ben to give up a layup. He must keep his cushion, keep his hands active. Good pressure. Have Chris shoot a jump shot. Rebound the ball. Finish with that screen out. All right, Mike. Keep your cushion. Keep your cushion. Keep them in front. Close. Close out, Michael. You got to make a better closeout. Now it's Chris's turn. That's it, Chris. Keep your spread low and wide. Up. Don't foul him. Don't foul him. I thought you did a nice job. Don't swing that arm through and foul him. All right, Ryan. Run with them. Run with them. If you are getting beat, it is imperative defensively that you turn and run and reestablish. Don't try and slide. You're not quick enough against great penetrating people. Let's watch Ben Johnson once again. Sometimes you're going to get beat. You just got to fight it out. Up. All right, that's better. One final time. Let's watch Chris. Establish. Good hands, Chris. All right, we got a foul there. To continue to build on the sequence of individual pressure on the ball, we're going to go to this drill where Ben Johnson is in the middle. He's going to go from the middle of the floor to the outside in a closeout technique that we work on every night. We're going to ask Ben to break himself down in short little steps into a position where he's low and wide, taking away the look inside with high hands and the three-point shot. On the pass returning to the point, Ben has to turn and sprint to the middle of the lane, assume a great defensive position, and then on the pass to the opposite wing, we want Ben once again to close out using the proper technique. So let's watch Ben Johnson demonstrate great closeout technique. Notice that he's got to hustle back. Close out, short little steps. Sprint into the lane. Close out, high hands. Notice how high his hands are. Low and wide, active hands, and stop. This is a drill that we use with our kids early in the season just to make sure that they understand the fundamentals of closing out. And we're going to take that closeout one step further in the next drill. Building on the defensive principles of the closeout, we now try to incorporate more than one person in the drill. In the following drill, you're going to see 3 players under the basket, each of them with the ball. They'll roll the ball out to the offensive player and try and demonstrate great closeout technique. So let's watch this drill. We're going to take the ball, we're asked the defense to be in the lane, roll it out, and show us great closeout. And stop. Let's do it once again then. Watch and see if they're running and if they're breaking themselves down into that low and wide position. All right, and stop. Pretty good job. If I was working with Andy and Andy was on my team, I would comment about his foot position at the initial stance. Does he have his inside foot high and above the offensive player so we are not allowing him to get to the middle? You have to watch the feet in this drill to make sure that your players are aligned in the proper way. Continuing with our closeout series, we now try to develop the idea of stopping the ball as a team. So we have 3 perimeter players on the offensive set, 2 wings and a point guard. and we have 3 people in the lane on defense. The ball is passed from behind the defensive players, so they do not know where it's going. What we're trying to do in this drill is get a great closeout on the ball itself and seal the gaps with the other 2 players. Again, we are trying to stop penetration into the lane. So let's watch our gentlemen demonstrate this drill. Close out, Mike. Good seal. Don't let it in. Don't let it in. And stop. All right. Nice effort. Now, what we're trying to do with this drill, take the ball in Andy's hands. Darren, come out here, please. Ryan out there. As if the ball is passed, let's pass it right out here to Darren. Ben has to have great ball pressure. We talked about that, high and low. But we're very concerned with the inside gaps. We don't want to allow Darren to think that he can get into those gaps. So in the pack, we say you have to be in there protecting your teammate. So this gap is protected by Mike. This one is protected by Chris. So Darren looks in there and it doesn't look inviting to drive. This is what we call teamwork in our closeout. As the ball is passed, if we pass it to Ryan, Mike has to close out, establish position. Now Ben Johnson must help him on the inside gap. Chris has the weak side. If you'll notice, we're in the lane. We're not stretching out. I don't want Ben Johnson up here denying this pass. I don't want Chris out there. We now have given Ryan huge gaps to drive to the basket. It looks very inviting if we don't have defensive players in that paint. So what we're trying to do is seal the inside, make it hard for this offensive man to make a play off the dribble. Let's watch this drill one more time. High hands. Don't let it in there. Seal that gap. Good help. That away. We talk about stopping the ball together. We must stop the ball. That's the first objective of our defense. Building on this sequence, we want to make it more game-like. And to do that, we're now going to allow the offensive wing position players to back cut at any time to the basket. This is real difficult for defenses to handle. So let's watch how these young men try to handle penetration with the option of back cuts from the wing. Get in that gap. Keep that cushion. All right. They did a pretty good job. The important thing there is to keep vision on that back cutter. Be able to see the ball as he cuts. What we're going to do now is try and make this drill as much as game-like as we can. We're going to allow them to shoot the ball, back cut, do whatever they think they can do. So it's literally 3-on-3 basketball. But what we're trying to see and what we're trying to watch as we watch our players, are they sealing gaps? Are we not allowing the ball to be penetrated into the green? Are we closing out with high hands? And then one of the most important things, which we haven't touched on now, is we want to contest that shot. Get our hand up on the shooter and make sure we screen out. So this drill is very much like a game. And let's stop. Hold it, hold it. All right. That time, one of our players didn't react very well to the pass, and we were much too slow on the closeout. If you're going to be that slow, we're going to get beat often. You have to stress to your players the idea of air time. When that ball's in the air, boy, we have to make up ground. We did not do a good job that time. Let's try it once again. High hands. High hands. High hands. Don't give him it. Close. Rebound. That's it. That was better. That was a better job, more intensity. We still have to get better at that, but you're understanding some of the principles. We're working on this closeout series. We do this almost every day during the year with our kids for 5 to 10 minutes, starting with rolling the ball out and progressing as we did in this sequence that we just showed you. The next drill is a staple that we do often during our week of preparation. It teaches us to stop penetration, help and recover, and finish. It's out of the shell, and all we allow is the offensive players to penetrate gaps and try and dish. We must work on closeouts. We must work on helping each other. It's a drill that we think helps us build our toughness. Let's watch the kids as they work this drill. You can interchange, you can interchange. One of the major principles that we have in our pack defense is the principle of constant repositioning or vision. We don't think you can have a great defensive basketball team unless you get all of your players involved with vision, seeing the ball, stopping the ball together. This is the start of that vision sequence that we do nightly to help our players develop the sense of constant repositioning. So we're going to start very simply with the ball in a stationary position, with the offensive players moving in random, and I'll just use the word freeze. When I say freeze, we want the offensive players to come to a stop. We want the defensive players to take an additional step and be in ideal defensive position when they come to rest. So let's watch this very simple drill that helps us develop vision. All right, go. Ball you man. Great vision. Get that head on a swivel. Freeze. Now what I want not the defense to do if they're not in position, in the perfect position, is to take a step and correct themselves. By doing this drill, we're watching and seeing if the kids understand the basic concepts of ball you man. Getting that hand in the passing lane if the person is inside 19-9. In the pack defense, if Ryan would step outside to 23 feet, we don't want Darren going out there. We want him back in the pack. Anytime he steps inside, then we have to assume that position. Now the sequence is going to become harder and harder. This is called our vision sequence. I'm going to now ask the players to do the same thing, but now we're going to move the ball. And by moving the ball, the drill becomes much more difficult. To end this drill, I will pass it to one of the offensive players, and then we'll freeze it from that position. So let's demonstrate this one. Go. Keep your positioning. The ball is being moved now, so they have to adjust to the ball. Where is the ball? Active footwork. Vision. Keep moving. Establish that position. Hold it. Just hold the ball. That's all I'm interested in. Do we have players in the right place? Do they know where they should finish up? That's what I'm interested in. All right? Stop there. Now we'll continue on in this vision. We've moved the ball. We had them address where they had to be. Now we're going to pass the ball, and we're going to let them play out of that. So now, it approaches game-like condition. So let's see what they can do in a situation that is much like the basketball game. All set? Go. No screens. I don't want any screens right now. Just vision work. Deny that ball inside 19-9. Vision, vision. Keep your vision. Be able to help. All right, and stop. That was excellent defense. Again, if we're in the pack, Darren, I don't want you chasing outside 19-9. Remember, we don't, in that case on a dead ball, we can lock up, but be careful if it's not dead, not to chase. The one thing we can't do in the pack is spread the floor because we don't have a great deal of athleticism, so we're trying to shrink the area that our defensive players have to cover. Trying to make the vision sequence even harder, now we have 3 perimeter players that are on the offense that are just going to handle the ball and pass the ball. It's still 3-on-3, working on vision, working on keeping ourselves in great defensive position as the ball is passed on the outside. Any of the 3 perimeter players can throw the ball inside at any time. This puts tremendous pressure on our people to be in proper position at all times. So let's watch this drill. Establish a position. Here's where the ball is. Go. Pass it to me. Pass it to me. The first drill that we're going to introduce on the conversion part of our defensive sequence is what we call change. It's a half-court drill in which we try and get our players to quickly go from offense to defense. They must all get into the paint where we build our defense from the basket out, and they must not guard the person that's guarding them. It's a drill that we like because they have to recognize what's happening on the floor. Their first order of business is to stop the ball. So let's watch these young men as they go into a defensive drill called change. Change! And stop. Good job. Good job. As you saw in that drill, they got the ball stopped, they helped. The ball was not able to go into the lane or penetrate in the lane, and that's the object of this drill. We'll do it once more. Green, will you do it once more for him? Green on offense. Chaz. Change! All right. It's all right. That time it wasn't so successful. As you saw, we had penetration, didn't stop the ball outside the lane. The penetration caused us to shift, didn't do a good job there, and they got the dunk. So we're going to do it once more. Change! Stop it. Hands, hands. All right. Good job. To build on our idea of conversion, now we're going to go full court with the drill we call switch. On the command, the players will lay down the ball, but this green team will sprint down into the lane to defend their basket. What we're going to try and do, of course, is stop all penetration into the lane. We're going to build our defense from the basket out. So let's watch as they run the switch drill. Switch! Nice job. Hustle, Jack. Hustle, Jack. Don't let him get a shot. Rebound. Excellent. Continuing to build on the defensive conversion theme, now we make it even more difficult in a full court drill that we call manager. We give the verbal command of switch, which the players then have to make the transition from offense to defense. or from defense to offense in our case, and the manager is going to throw them the ball. So we're going to leave this ball on the floor. It even puts more pressure on our players to get down and establish a good defense. This is called the manager drill. Switch! Get in the lane. Nice hands, Jazz. Good job. This drill, 3-on-3 full court, is a staple drill. This is one of those drills we will do 3 or 4 times a week. We think that it's such a great drill for our kids. It involves transition and all the components of building a great defense. The drill is set up with 3 players on offense, 3 players on defense. When the ball goes up and is shot by green, whoever rebounds the ball will outlet it to one of the wing positions, and that'll start the fast break for the white team. The green team here must go in transition all the way down and play outstanding defense. Whoever rebounds the ball down here for the green team will outlet it, and that'll start the fast break for green coming back. So now the white team must work on transition. The drill is a continuous drill. We will go 2 trips. So the green team will play 2 defensive trips. The white team will play 2 defensive trips. Again, we think this is one of the best drills that we have. This drill is specific for low post defense. We put the pressure on the defensive center. We set the drill up with 4 offensive players on the perimeter. They have to play out of spots to start the drill, and the object is to get the ball inside to the offensive center. We do not allow any jump shots to start with. What we're looking for is the warrior mentality of the defensive center. Can he fight for position? Is he a warrior? Will he battle through 45 seconds of play? So let's watch and see what happens. Gentlemen, are we ready? Good position, Justin. The white team is trying to get the ball inside. Inside we have a battle of players. Nice hands, great hands. Good defense. That was excellent. If you watch them play, they were combative. They moved with each other, and yet the defensive man found a way to get his hand on the ball by positioning. Let's watch it again one more time. High hands on the perimeter. Don't allow him to get a good look. All right. This is another defensive drill where we put the emphasis on keeping the ball out of the low post. In this drill, we put tremendous pressure on the 4 perimeter defensive players. We have 5 offensive players, 1 being an offensive center. We have 4 defensive players, all on the perimeter. And what we're saying is, you guys on the outside must, in airtime, when the ball's in the air, get down and swarm over that offensive center as he catches the ball. Let's see if these 4 players can accomplish our goal of not letting the ball score from the offensive low post position. Get in there and swarm them. Get out now. Good. All right. Good effort. Good effort. High hands. Get it, get it. Excellent job. Now, what we do as the season goes on, we allow the 4 offensive people on the perimeter to move. Then this drill becomes very, very difficult. But to start and to build the drill, we have them play out of their areas. Going along with the theme of not allowing the ball to be penetrated against this defense, this time we're saying once in a while we make a mistake, we get behind the offensive center, the ball does go in there. What are we going to do? In this drill, we're going to try and teach our people on ball side to collapse very hard, very quickly, dig the ball out of the low post, and then not allow a second pass into the post. Let's watch and see if this team can execute this drill. Go ahead. Collapse, dig it out. Don't allow the second one in there. Play it hard. Good job, good job, very nice. Nice job. Now to make this drill even more difficult, this time we will allow the 4 perimeter players to move. The first time we had them play out of a small area. To begin practice, I think it's best to set it up the drill with the 4 perimeter players holding position. But to make the drill more game-like, we will now allow the perimeter players to move on the pass. Gentlemen, on the perimeter you can move. So after the pass is made, you can move and play. Again, we'll allow the first pass in. Other than that, we're going to have to recover, front the post, and not allow the second one in. Where's the weak side help? All right, where's the ball? Good hands. One of our favorite low post defensive drills is when we have 2 offensive players, 2 defensive players, and surround them with 4 passers. This is game-like, and we like the situations that develop from this. So we're going to work with Jerry and Ryan on keeping high, stepping through, and playing it out. We always want to play this drill to the finish when we get the defensive rebound. So let's watch these guys as they work the low post. Step through. That's it. Now try and get it in. You've done a nice job. Try and get it in. Hustle it, hustle it. Come on, keep playing. Get up, keep playing. Good hustle. Reestablish, reestablish. This drill is 4 defensive players against 5. What we're going to try and do is get that idea across to our players. You must contest every shot. We are placing our players at a disadvantage numerically. In this drill, we only allow 4 passes by the offense before a shot has to be taken, and we will allow a skip pass during this offense. Let's watch this drill. So the offense is going to move the ball and try and get an uncontested shot. The defense is going to have to hustle and make sure that no one gets a free look at the basket. That's it. Get there. Get it, finish it, out of the way. Pressure the ball, Luke. That's it, get it, get it, get it. All right. Good. In this drill, it's a fundamental drill to avoid screens. our defensive player, Luke Kiss, in the green, is going to have to avoid screens, single screens on each side of the floor. When the ball is passed to Gene Evans, then Luke will try and play one-on-one defense. This is a fundamental drill for us to try and teach our kids how to avoid screens. Luke can either chase the screen or he can go ball side. What we're trying to do is teach him to be tougher and play through the screens. Let's watch and see how he does. Okay, Luke. Good, good. One more time. Keep working, Luke. Keep working, Luke. Establish. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? That's it. Get there. Get out of there. Good contest. Dealing with ball screens is an important part of any team defensive concepts. I'm going to show you two methods that we use to deal with the ball screen itself. The first method we call show. In this, if Matt Hill steps up to set a ball screen, we have Jerry Karstensen show. Now it's important that Jerry shows on the same plane as Matt. We want to force Ben to the outside. If you'll notice, Jerry has his hand on the hip of the offensive screener. If Matt Hill goes, Jerry will go with him right now. Can you bring it back? We want Jerry to be very active. If he can take the ball away because this man isn't good with it, we want him to try and steal the ball right here. So if there's a mistake, we want to aggressively try and get the ball. What Luke Kiss has to do is he hears the screen is coming, he must force Ben into the screen. The biggest mistake Luke can make is allowing Ben to cross over and come back away from the screen. We have help here at the screen. This is where we must direct the ball. So Luke will direct the ball into the screen and stop here. Bring it back. Luke's job is to try and force this dribbler as high as he can and then turn and get through. Now against good competition, come on back. When you get through this screen and Jerry Bales opens up, I must turn and run and reestablish a defensive position. Unless you are extremely quick, sliding through will not get it done. You must turn and run, reestablish immediately. The second method is what we call flattening the screen. In this method, what we're concerned about is the pick and roll, especially the roll part of the equation in a ball screen. So we're going to eliminate that option for the offense. And how we do that, again, if Matt Hill comes up to screen, Jerry is going to flatten right against him. He is not going to allow any movement by Matt Hill. When we flatten, that gives Paul the opportunity to go behind the screen and catch up on the other side. Now, we will not flatten a screen if we're guarding a great shooter. If we're guarding a person that they're trying to get the ball to on the roll, then we will use this technique. So let's watch our kids as we flatten the screen. Take it that way. Nice job. continuing to deal with screens, when we play against a team that screens often, we have a set rule how we deal with most of our down screens. And I'm going to explain that to you. Chancellor's going to start with the ball. If he passes it and then goes to set the screen, as Jeremy goes down, he must separate and open up to the ball. Jeremy must have vision to see what's happening. We call this opening up. It is his job to protect against any back cuts by the man moving the cutter through the screen. He must give us momentary help right now. He can only do that if he has vision. So he's going to call it out, open up right here. What that allows is B.J. LaRue to either go ball side and hustle and beat the screen and defeat it, or he can chase numbers following that man around the screen and again trying to defeat it. Once B.J. LaRue has cleared, Jeremy must reestablish a closed position and not allow Chancellor to step to the ball. Go ahead. Talk. One more time. All right. Another screen that causes problems for us is a cross screen, small on big. We don't switch screens, and this is how we deal with the cross screen when a little screens for a big. What we're trying to do right now, if Jerry's in great defensive position, give the ball to Devontae, please. Devontae passes, and now he's going to come down and try and screen. We want Luke Chris to yell it out. Now, what we want Jerry to do is try to get in the baseline hip pocket of this post player. We want to get his head right on the chest and not allow him to make a cut on the baseline. If we do that, and now Devontae comes to screen, I'm right here, Matt can't go baseline. As he steps up, I'm going to try and hug him and establish a great defensive position on the inside as he goes across the lane. This allows us the ability to keep big on big and small on small on a cross screen. So let's watch them demonstrate this. You bring the ball, Gene, over. Bring the ball over. All right. Constant repositioning is so important to us. In this drill, we once again put the defense at a disadvantage. We have two of our managers with blocking squares involved in screening our kids. So we have the 4 white players that can screen for each other, in addition 2 other members that can go screen. So our kids really have to talk and reposition all the time. Come on. Good. The number 7 principle is to finish the defense. To us, that's rebounding. If you extend as much pressure and work for 35 seconds on this defense, then you cannot allow a team to have an offensive rebound. So what we're going to do right now is one of our favorite drills. It involves the whole team, and we're teaching them how to rebound the ball. We work on the technique of rebounding, and then we'll get into the physical play of rebounding in another drill. So right now, let's watch our team work on snapping the ball down. It's important to us that they go up and get it in that distance from above their head when they grab the ball to chinning it is critical. Of course, we want them to get up as high as they can, and they must pivot and always see the ball. So let's watch this drill. Now we'll add the physical part of the drill. The ball will go up and our man has to turn, pivot, make contact, and go get the ball. Good. That's it. Try and get some jump in here, people. That's it, Luke. Go after the ball. All right. Little play acting here, Jeremy. Don't kill him for us. All right. That's it, Devontae. In this rebounding drill, we work on some of the rotation that happens when you play the pack. We're going to have the ball driven down to the baseline where it's going to be shot. The post player is going to rotate up. That happens often in our game, and we're going to have to get some rotation over by our big person, so we need some sync by our off guard, Jeremy Feaster. Would you raise your hand, Jeremy, who's going to go down to the baseline and have to seal there. Our lead guard, Luke Kiss, will have to rebound in the middle. So let's see if these 5 players can get this defensive rebound out of a rotation. White, be a little more passive. Go ahead, White, be a little more passive. One of the things we're trying to stress in this drill is talking to each other. Our interior people, our people on the perimeter must talk and let each other know where they're going. Let's watch and listen to the kids as they do this drill. Good. These are some of the rebounding drills that we use during the season, but I must emphasize to you that rebounding is part of every defensive drill that we employ. We must have our kids work very, very hard on the defensive rebounding skills. This is one of our better drills. It's a very simple drill. It's 3-on-3 rebounding, and our kids must get 3 consecutive rebounds before they can go to the back of the line. All right. That's 1. That's 2. Nice job. All right, that's 3. Rotate. Come on. Get down, Chancellor. Good, Gene, that's 1. I hope you enjoyed watching the pack defense. It is a defensive system. We have showed you through drills, through game footage, some of the things that we believe are needed to play great defense. What you must do now is pick and choose those concepts, those drills that will help you develop an outstanding defense. On behalf of the coaching staff, the players here at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, we wish you the very best in the upcoming season.